out there? It's Pugzilla, and we've got a new video type for you to check out and to dine on this evening. We're going to try and do a little bit of a tutorial slash help video for people that are struggling with defending. Now, as a preface to this, I'm not a pro player, but I do get 16 wins consistently on this FIFA. But these are things that are good etiquette for any FIFA, not just FIFA 23. So if you do want to hang out and check out the video, please like and subscribe at the end. And also follow us over on twitch.tv/TheRealPugzilla, where we have streams every Thursday and Saturday for the summer months. The link will be in the description. Now, a couple of these images that you're about to see are, well, frankly, they're done by me. And as you can see here with the Pug's forehead emote that was also done by me in paint, there's a little bit left to be desired. But if you stick with it and you trust the information in the video, I'm sure you can improve on defending. And that goes for anybody. These are common tactics, common ideas of how to defend that I think will help anybody. So let's get to the video. Here we are today with our three main points for defending in FIFA. Defending the hot spots, which we'll talk about first. Closing down space, as in tackling, aiming for the center mass, and then gaining depth and closing space. And we'll also have some clips from gameplay that incorporate all three there towards the end. So the first thing we want to talk about is defensive hotspots. Now, you guys know normally where the goals come in FIFA. You guys know what normally happens. The high traffic areas, that's what we're going to talk about first. So here we go. You know, as most people would know, but don't maybe necessarily think about, the two main hotspots when you're defending is going to be the corner of the 6-yard box and the corner of the 18-yard box. These are high foo-foo areas, high rompe areas. You've got a lot of tramp areas there. You can finesse. Getting to those areas on offense is a good idea, and defending them on defense and knowing that people are going to those areas is key in anticipation of the defending, of trying to defend the people that are doing the attacking. So I've got a bunch of clips from the gameplay here. We've got a lot of, from the weekend here, a lot of foo-foo, a lot of rompe. You can see here a combo platter between the high 18-yard box danger area there from myself and then into the extreme danger area of inside the 6. That is where we'll find Mbappe here, who's through, he's loose, and he's dancing, and he doesn't mind that at all. He's a frivolous dancer. It's not just all clips of Mbappe, though. We've got Griezmann here bodying, getting to that danger area there. My opponent did not shield off that danger area. Getting to that inner danger area, that is where, well, I guess he's playing a guitar of some sort. That is where Griezmann loves to eat. It's not just myself on offense either. You know, obviously in Weekend League you play a lot of tough people. Here we see a little ball win there, Ginola inside, boom, goal. It's dangerous for everybody, and that's part of the reason why there's so many goals that come from those areas, because people are trying to get to those areas to get easy rompe, you know. And there I am right there with Pele, 4-1 up, 3-1 up. You know how it is. You get to those areas, it's very, very difficult to stop. I will be talking about how to stop it in a minute. Just want to have a couple more clips here of how these goals are being scored. You can see once you get into that area, it's panic mode for the defender. That's what I want to eliminate from your game today. I want to give you guys the tools to stop the panic, the tools to stop the tramp. It doesn't always work that way. You can see here I get gashed there a little bit by Di Maria and Diaby up the wing. That is something that we all are gonna go through in FIFA. You can see right there the inside the 6-yard box danger area, the hot spot, as I like to call it, the hot spot. We will be talking about how to defend this here in a second too. So it incorporates a lot of what's meta in FIFA. This spot, you know, passing the ball across goal, going back and forth, wiggling, doing the wiggle stick. This is definitely how I get a lot of my goals, is getting into that 6-yard box and then getting that finish either across goal or squaring it, you know. You can see here Araujo It's a danger area for myself and others. It's a tough area. Now I want to take a quick look at that secondary space, the one at the top of the 18. This is a high traffic area for people who cut in. It's a high traffic area for cut passes, and that's normally where the traffic is as the opponent goes to the inside the 6 danger area. So I've got a couple videos here to show you. This is off a throw. Very, very common that danger comes in off the throws. You see it there squaring to the top of the box, and it's a little combo platter there from Forlon. He squares it. He cross goals it. So if you try and get there's myself with a nice goal there from that area, that ends up sealing up that game. Big goal there. You try and get into these areas defensively, and knowing that people are going to try and exploit that, you can defend that better, knowing that they're trying to go for that. You see Llorente and Araujo in there trying to cut down the space, pressuring, not allowing my opponent to get into those areas. We get a little bit unlucky with the right back to him, and then he passes it right to us because he wasn't expecting the ball. You can see there that when you know that people are going to attack that area, you have to be aggressive and to come out and to go at center mass, which I'll talk about here next. Go out there and be brave and defend that spot at the top of the 18, because that is where the danger is. Now you see here, normally, trouble, he's in behind. Knowing that he's alone and really can only get to 2 danger areas, right? The top of the 16 and the top of the 6. Knowing that he might pull off there gives you the anticipation to know that he's going to go to that area. Now Mbappe here on a little freestyle. This is very hard defending. This guy was really good. We get a little right back to you, a little right back to him, and we don't panic. And then boom, he passes it right to our De Bruyne. So if you're aware that the opponent has those 2 major danger areas, like in this case, Mbappe, then we crowd him out, and boom, we're on the attack now, ready to ready to keep it moving. You know what I mean? A lot of defending is knowing. See, bravery right there, Araujo. A lot of the hotspot defending is going to be, making yourself aware that that's where people are trying to get the ball. That's where people are trying to move. Now we're going to talk about closing down space. Center mass. I'm going to start out with the A+ top clip. Okay, this is the best clip from my last week in league talking about center mass. There's an idea in Halo that you strafe with the opponent. You mirror them is what it's called. We don't want to be mirroring anything in FIFA. We want to close down space aggressively and aim for the center of the player. Look at this bossing here. Boom. Get out of here with your fancy footwork. It's my ball. I'll allow you to play with it when I allow you to play with it. You can see when an opponent comes at you and does not go for center mass and does the back forth wiggle, it's a negative way to defend. It can work sometimes, but oftentimes it'll put you in a bad spot, as you can see with that De Bruyne clip. Maldini can't hang with him. And then eventually I get you leaning one way because you're not coming at me and closing down the space, and I can take advantage of that offensively. It happens to me too sometimes. I've backed off there at Del Piero with the hook at the top of the box. Boom. Nice place to win the ball off of a skill move. You already know where the exit animation is going to be. Dive in aggressively and bravely in that area. Trying to play up the wing. We don't allow that. I'm not going to allow somebody to be lazy and go back and forth with the left stick. I'm going to go into even Ronaldo. Even Ronaldo gets it. Everybody gets it. Everybody gets it, People want to come in here with that weak shit, they get disrespected, Center mass defending, going to close down the space. Look at Pedri. Boom. No, you can't turn around. I've got you covered. I'm going into the player. And I'm looking to be aggressive. And this goal is just a nice little combo. That shows you what you are capable of. And you can do it too at home. You can do it too. You don't need the Mega Millions. It's all about positioning. It's all about being aggressive and brave, going directly at the player. Diaby, where are you going? That's my football. Diaby thinks he's got something. He ain't got nothing. Better go back to the super sub role. These are just little options here. This is about tip number 2. This is center mass defending. This is going in aggressively. You do not want to mirror your opponent. And there's a bravery tackle there by Ramos. This right here. Anticipation. I've got the read on my player, my opponent. I'm going in, brave, and I'm going in center mass. Do not go to the sides of the player because that's just going to give them an out. Go get in their face, grab them by the jockstrap, grab them by the jockstrap. Now, the third point here is gaining depth versus closing space. And this is a little bit of a combo platter between center mass defending and then also knowing the limitations of the pace of your player. Gaining depth allows you to close down space and aim for the center mass. And you have to know when it is important to gain depth. Now, I'll show you guys some Pugzilla retro images here on what I'm talking about by gaining depth. But depth is important when you're trying to defend the danger spots. Now, if my player is in orange, like a fullback, and I have an opponent in blue, a lot of times there's a confrontation at the halfway stripe, and you get beat. Now, a lot of people will go to try and close space down. That's not what you want to do. You don't want to close space down in this scenario. You want to keep trying to aim towards the danger areas, whether that's at the top of the 20 if you didn't get beat that bad, or whether it's the top of the 6 if you're really struggling against a pacey player. I got a little angle here. This right here, if it makes sense that you would want to close down space, but it doesn't work that way. A lot of times a pacey player will end up being able to round the corner on you and leave you for dead. If you've played this game enough, you know that the fullbacks, if they get beat and you click off them, normally they just completely just stop defending. That's what we want to avoid. We want to avoid cutting the angle and getting beat around the corner. And all that really means is that principles in real life sports, I played football for 14 years, principles in real life sports actually make sense in FIFA to some extent too, even though it's obviously a ridiculous video game. But this is how you don't get beat for goals right here. It's not about winning the ball back early. You got beat at the halfway stripe by the blue arrow. The orange arrow cuts it back because the danger in itself is not that the player has the ball on the wing. The danger in itself is that they can get now to that 6-yard box spot or the 18 spot. So knowing that you're actually going to try and limit those areas gives you can see that I bend the angle there with Llorente. That's a hard defense. This guy gave me a really tough game. But you can see the subtle bending that I do with the players. This guy did speed burst with Alwarion the whole time. I went to close the space. He's already speed bursted. But you can see that I'm going back at an angle towards the 6-yard box. And then I have a nice little team defending there with Araujo. Unlucky with the ball going back to it. This guy gave me a really tough game. You're going to see a lot of clips from Alwarion here. He's a very, very hard opponent to go against. Alwarion again on the wing. You can see that I'm trying my best to keep the angle, keep myself on the goal side of Alwarion. There I pressured him and Capdevilla dribbled the ball out of bounds. People aren't used to seeing defending like this where you take space. You take space, you gain depth. You gain depth, and that limits people's options once they get into the penalty area. You see here Alwarion all the way on the outside. He's caused a lot of problems. I've got to bring in. He knows that Araujo is going to close the space down, so he panics and forces a cross. If I was to go right at Alwarion, he would have a lot of space to dribble in. And it's important to also work with your center back as well. You can see here I'm doing the teammate contain, getting Araujo's attention. And sometimes it's good to just crowd out the space, knowing that people are going to be going for that straight line buzz up the wing. You can see here Makalele, this is at the very end of the game. My guys are dead tired, and I start bailing. Once I see Mbappe's got the turn on me, I bail. Now, my principle of gaining depth doesn't just affect the outside fullbacks and the wing, defending the extremely dangerous spots inside the 6 and then inside the 20. The red circle inside the center circle is my Makalele, my CDM, my defender. A part of the pitch that I didn't mention as very dangerous is the center of the 18 at the top. That's where Makalele lives. Now, what I was talking about, choosing angles to go to the wing with Makalele to close the ball down is not what you want to be doing. What you want to be doing is gaining depth with Makalele to defend ultimately the top of the 18. That is also another danger area that I haven't spoke of yet, and we're going to show you guys what that means. Now, the defending with Makalele is very intricate because there are times you do want to cover the wing. Most of the time you want to do that is when you have a huge numerical advantage. Say both your fullbacks are back, they've got one guy randomly on the left wing, then it makes sense to go out wide. Most of the time it's about gaining depth, and you can do that very subtly. You see here Makalele, boom, cut. I drag him back into position. It limits my opponent's position, and it limits his passing. There you saw a moment there on the attacking half of the pitch, which functions basically the same as defending the top of the 18. You want to defend the top of the pitch as well, because that's a lot of times where the opponent's number 10 is. You know, a lot of times that's where the attacker, maybe a lone striker, is situated. Just subtly touching and moving and gaining depth is so important. You see Araujo there bailing. I bailed with Araujo to get to the corner of the 6-yard box, and boom, what do? I get rewarded. Makalele follows it up with defending the top of the box. The third most important area on the pitch is the top of the box. And Makalele gaining depth here, and then all of a sudden the AI is in position to make an interception. Dragging him back directly to the top of the 18-yard box is exactly what you need to be doing, because the AI will recover from that and be in a better position. You can also make the same case for gaining depth with center backs on over-the-top balls. I'm not going to close the space down with the opponent. I'm going directly back to my penalty area because that's where the ball is going over the top. So these are the defensive tips that I have for you today. Let me know what you think. Defensive hotspots, we talked about 3 of them. Defending the 6-yard box, the 18, and the top of the 18. Closing down space, center mass, getting aggressive, and just getting in those tackles is what you want to see. You want to see those spaces closed down fast, and you do not want to mirror. Gaining depth for his closing space. There you saw it there with the Makalele and with my fullbacks. That's the name of the game. I've got a couple clips here that kind of incorporate all of those aspects. Some of them are really, really good defending, if I do say so myself, but very, 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 very difficult to pull off. But once you start recognizing where people are trying to attack and when to be aggressive and how to be aggressive by going center mass, you can really start putting together some good weekend league numbers. I believe that anybody can do this defending. I'm not special in any way. I'm not a pro or anything. I'm just a guy who plays a lot of FIFA. And I've noticed a couple things that I think can help you in your game. So let me know if you do feel that this has been helpful for you. This is a couple hybrid things with multiple techniques that I'm using. If you have any tips that have helped you, get high ranks, or if you think I forgot something, let me know in the comments. Puskas right there, birthday Puskas in behind, not a problem. We know where he's trying to get the ball before he even knows where he's trying to get the ball. And that gives us an opportunity to win the ball. It doesn't always work that way. Sometimes there's right back to him, but boom, Makalele is defending that pocket right at the top of the box, and we're on the attack. That's that simple. Sometimes you got somebody deep in behind, but you know what? If you know how to get to that spot before they can get to that spot with these lengthy center backs, really nobody can outpace a center back. If you take the right angles, if you do the right thing, that's what you can. And if you can't do the right thing, well, then the post helps. And it's better to be lucky than good. Zilla, out.